What do you do if somebody screws you over, cons you, gives you bad advice, screws up your life? Should you forgive and forget? And behind me in my amazing library, and when I say amazing, I love looking at how other people handle life, and my library is filled up with people who are successful in business and sport, and they've done great things with their life. But one of the books in my library my father gave me as a teenager is the Holy Bible. And in that book, my father, who was a very, when I say Christian, he suggested that wouldn't it be nice if we all lived Christ-like, which is to forgive and forget. And the Bible's full of forgive and forget, isn't it? But I've got a couple of logical questions about that statement, you should forgive and forget. Now, the first part of that is, wouldn't it be nice to not ever be bitter and twisted and angry about things that people have done to you? If somebody hurt you, upset you, screwed you over, and they ruin your life, wouldn't that be sad? Because it means they're in control of your life. So it doesn't matter what somebody does to you. If you let them control your headspace and you live your life as a bitter and twisted person, that'd be pretty sad, wouldn't it? But should we forgive and forget? And let's start with the forget bit. If something happens to me and I forget that it happened, how will I learn from it? So if somebody gives me bad advice and I forget that they gave me bad advice, I could end up doing the same stupid thing again. If somebody screws me over and I forget that they screwed me over, then somebody could do that to me again. One of the ways I love to live my life is I'm very happy to make mistakes, and I'm very happy to admit that I've made a mistake. But I'm very conscious of not making the same mistake twice, because that would be me being stupid. I learn from my mistake and then don't do it again. So if somebody hurts me, upsets me, screws me over, tries to wreck my life, and I forget that it happened, then I can't learn from it. So perhaps it's not about forgetting, it's about learning that it happened, or learning from what happened, and then not letting it control your life. Could that be a logical thing to do? I'm sure you've met a lot of people that they blame their past, they blame other people, their headspace is screwed up because somebody tried to screw up their life, and they allow that person to control their life. So you want to forget that you've got bitter and twisted and angry thoughts about that person, but not forget to learn from the experience. Could that be a good idea? Now, the second part of that is, should I forgive them? So if somebody screws me over, hurts me, upsets me, cons me, does something terrible to me, should I forgive them? And here's a great thing to consider. If I want forgiveness from somebody else, so I say I'm very sorry, which are very important words to say if you did something wrong. But the ultimate way to fix what you did wrong is to fix it, isn't it? So it's easy to say I'm sorry. It needs to be said, but it's very easy to say it. A lot of people even go a step further and say, I take full responsibility, I'm very sorry. But what does taking full responsibility actually mean? Shouldn't I now take responsibility and fix my challenge? So if I'm apologizing to somebody else for screwing up and I want them to forgive me for doing something stupid, don't I need to fix it, not just say I'm sorry? So should we forgive somebody if they screw us over and they don't, yes, it's nice that they said sorry, but did they fix it for us? So I'm going to give you an interesting example. I'm an old lady with a busted and broken body. I've got every joint in my body from my neck to my toes has had some kind of stupid exercise injury. Because when I first came into the exercise profession, I was so impressed by other people and their impressiveness because they had big gyms or a large number of people in their group exercise classes, or they had a large number of degrees after their name. So I was impressed by them, so I did the exercises that they suggested that I should do. I listened to their advice, and it literally screwed me over. There's some really stupid advice out there. Now, should I forget that they gave me that advice? No, because otherwise I'd keep doing stupid exercises because I would forget that that's a stupid exercise. Should I forgive those people for giving me those stupid exercises? Now, I have no bitter and twistedness about any of the advice I've ever been given, and I've taken it on board because I have to take responsibility that I didn't learn my anatomy and physiology, and I didn't learn that putting shearing forces through your joint and doing that at speed with momentum and weight was going to screw up my joints. That's my responsibility for not learning my anatomy and physiology. But should I forgive those people for giving me that advice? And it's just an interesting thing to consider. If they've stopped doing it, so if they gave me stupid exercises and then said, hey, Rowie, we've now learnt our anatomy and physiology, and we've learned that leg extensions or leg curls or bicep curls or tricep kickbacks or upright rows are all stupid exercises because they put shearing forces across your joints and they're going to screw you over, and they stop giving people those exercises, then they're in the same position as me. And I've had to do that, and I've done it many times in my life where I've gone to my clients or the members at my health club or people in my life and I've said, I'm really sorry. The advice that I gave you was stupid and I'm never going to do it again. I remember going to I used to have very large group exercise classes, and I remember standing up in front of over 100 people and saying to them, we're not doing these stupid exercises anymore. I've learnt my anatomy and physiology to the nth degree that I know that these exercises that we have been doing are stupid, they waste your time, they don't burn fat. We're not going to do them anymore. And I was very happy to say, I'm sorry that I gave them to you in the first place. Please forgive me for giving them to you. And we're never going to do them again because now I know better. But if you screw up somebody's joints, and even if you apologize, oh, I'm very sorry that you've got a sore knee, or I'm very sorry that your shoulder hurts, or I'm very sorry that your lower back's screwed up, but you keep prescribing those exercises, I have no forgiveness for those people. And it's not that I'm bitter and twisted about it, it's just that I don't want those people in my life. I don't want people in my life who screw up and don't fix up their screw-ups. We call them screw-ups for a reason. We need to fix them, learn from it and get better. Wouldn't that be fair? So should we forgive and forget? And when you have a look at those 4 big areas of life, which is what I'm here for every day, are you healthy, fit and strong? Do you have a career or business that you love? Are you financially free? And do you have beautiful relationships? So if you got bad advice about being healthy, fit and strong, you could forgive the people that gave you the bad advice, but wouldn't it be great to not do it anymore so that you can get fitter and stronger without that stupid advice in your life? If you employed somebody that, you took advice from a career advisor, for example, and you employed somebody that screwed up your business, yes, perhaps, maybe you want to forgive the career advisor, but if they're still giving the same advice, perhaps don't have them in your life. If you've made a mistake in your career or your business, wouldn't it be nice to learn from the mistake and move on? Not forget that you made the mistake, because otherwise you might do it again and you won't learn from it. And forgive yourself perhaps for making the mistake, but you can't forgive yourself either if you keep making the same mistake over and over. If you got bad financial advice, and I'm standing in front of you as a woman who really listened to some people that gave us very bad advice, and we literally, this is just a reality of my life experience. I have lost millions of dollars from bad advice. I took the advice, so it's my responsibility because I applied the advice into my business, into my financial situation. But I'm not going to forget that happened to me because I don't want it to happen again. And in some of those instances, those same people are still giving out that advice, and I have no forgiveness for them because they obviously haven't learned from, they're still screwing people over. I will certainly am very happy to forgive people that say, Rowie, we gave you some really bad advice financially and it screwed you up and we're really sorry, but this is what and we're not giving out that advice anymore because now we know better. And relationships are really interesting. Should you forgive and forget somebody that treats you badly? And because this is such a personal thing, I'm going to be very careful, of course. But if somebody treats you badly, if you forgive them, there's a great question to ask, do people change? And there's an argument to say that people don't change. Or I can't change them. That's probably a better way to put it. People have to want to change. But if somebody screws me over, hurts me physically or mentally, and both of those are terrible, and I forgive them, and I keep them in my life, and they do it to me again, how many times are we going to forgive? Maybe forgiveness is a one-off thing, maybe it's a none-of thing, I don't know, but that's a personal choice. But I always say this, if somebody screws me over, that's awesome in my personal relationships because now I know who they are, but they're not going to do it again. I'm not going to be stupid enough to allow somebody to do that to me again. They are now removed from my life. Now that's just a personal choice. Do I forgive them for what they did? That's up to them to live their life a different way. Will I forget that they did it? No, because I don't want it to happen to me again. I want to make sure that my relationships in the future don't have people like that I don't want those people in my life. So great question. Should we forgive and forget, or would it be more important to remember and learn and forgive if the person changes their ways? And that's a personal thing for you as well. Something I do every day. As I'll share again, I'm very happy to make mistakes, but I'm really unhappy with myself if I make the same mistake twice. And I'm very proud to say that's part of my life that I'm very, very aware of. Learn from the mistake, move on. Don't get bitter and twisted about it. Don't get upset about it. Don't get angry with yourself about it. Just don't do it again. So could we live our life to the max by learning from every experience? And the people that screw us over, if you keep them in your life, do we need to take responsibility that we put them there? It's not them anymore, it's us that put them there. I would love for you to live your life to the max and live the example for our future adults that you can live your life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you? Living my life to the max. Woo!